All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the recipe app little series here. So in the last video, in case you guys missed it, go check it out. It's on the channel. We made this whole kind of login, onboarding, user flow for the sign up, login, register kind of thing. Couple extra steps in there, totally optional. But in today's video, we want to start building out the home. So after the whole user experience, or the login experience, now it's on to the home page. And keep in mind that you guys can design this however you want to. This is more just kind of like demonstrate functionality and that kind of stuff. So we've got right here, we've got the home. We can go ahead and change the title of this. We're just jumping right in, by the way. We can just call this the recipe app. And you can go without this header. You can go with the header or the nav bar up here, app bar, whatever you want to call it. I think in the last video, we changed this log out to go back to the intro. We want to go ahead and change that. That's on the right icon because it's on the right side of this component. So instead of going back, linking to the intro, we're going to link this back to login because when a user is already logged in, they've already created an account, so there's no need for them to go all the way back to the beginning. So we'll go back just to the login page so they can kind of just log in, log out, log in, log out, etc., etc. Nailed it. So, we can come out here. Let's go and move this over just a little bit, and then we start laying out our elements however we want to. Right there looks pretty good. Shift click that bad boy, bring this up just a smidge. Now I'm thinking here, you guys, we need to make the database. We need to make more in the database. We need to add the categories and the recipes to it. But for now, I just want to kind of get a visual of where those components are going to be, what they're going to look like. And I'm kind of thinking, let's just come up here and add a list. They're both can be lists because the lists loop through a table, or in this case, a document in the database. So maybe we want to go. Maybe we can do a card list, a horizontal scroller. That should be fine. Yeah, for the categories. So you can kind of scroll through and see all the categories. And then ultimately, when you click on a category, it will go into like a recipes within that category kind of thing. And then when you click into one of those recipes, it'll be another list of recipes. You click into that, it'll go into the recipe detail with all that kind of stuff. So let's just start here. I think that's pretty good. What is this a list of? We don't have that just yet. Let's kind of clean this up a little bit. For the image, we can't associate that. We can't associate any of this stuff just yet because we don't have the data for it. But let's just look here real quick. I think it's overlay is what it is. Is there? Yeah, this. Let's remove this icon. We don't need it. And then as well as the subtitle, we don't need that because the category is not going to have a subtitle. It's just literally going to be an image with a category name. So let's go ahead and set that up real quick. Wow, my voice is all cracking. I'm 16 again. Let's hit database and avatars. We don't need that. We're going to do, I think I said documents earlier. It's actually collection. Let's add a collection. This is going to be categories. Categories. There we go. Nailed it. We are going to have a category name, as well as a category image, and that's probably going to be just about it. Now, in this case, we can just call it image because the data we're going to be fetching from is just going to be categories, so we know it's going to be current categories, name, and categories image, that kind of stuff. If we were building out this full-blown app, it may be a good idea to call this actually category image, category name, but in this case, meh. Now, we come back over here to this component. We can say now this is going to be a list of categories, and just like that, category name. It already maps it because Adalo image overlay is smart. Nice. You can change the position of this above title, below title. Actually, don't really know. That's a subtitle, so that was completely irrelevant. We'll just edit that part out. You can put a gradient over the background, which is really nice. Bottom overlay text. This is what I was trying to do. You can do the category name on top or on the bottom. I think we're just going to keep it on the bottom. Butt shot. Nailed it. Category. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. We do want to tell users what this is. I'm pretty sure they're going to know. Why is this not working there, bro? I'm going to bring it down just like that. Very, very nice. Very nice. Now let's add just a little bit of text right here. And again, this is, I mean, the design is not, it's not about the design. It's about functionality here. So You guys make this your own. We can just call this categories. And I think I said in the last video, just to reiterate with you guys, if you want the list of all the fonts, you can bring in a whole Google font library if you update the app. We're just doing a free version. So, all right, so that's pretty good. So this is just going to tell the users that this is categories. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Maybe 20. Oh, yeah. Let's bring this up just a smidge. So they know this is going to be a list of categories because they're not going to see category name. They're going to see burgers or chicken or whatever we choose to do. So, cool. So let's highlight the home. We can click and drag this down here just so we can see what we're working with. And let's add a list. But this time, let's add a simple list. I want to show this real quick. Adalo is really cool because you can build your own custom list, which basically, we're going to use simple list, but I just want to show you guys this real quick. You can see it repeats itself, but essentially you just have over here under components, you have a rectangle, right? You can like round off. You can do all sorts of cool stuff with it. Add shadows, background. You can stick a border on the B, whatever you want to do. But basically, it just gives you a container that you can use. And then inside, you can kind of build out what you want in there. So if you wanted to, you could actually put in like other elements. So under the components title here, you can add a component and you can actually do like an image. You can bring in an image and it becomes part of the, you see it start repeating. It actually becomes part of the custom list. Really, really neat. So we're just going to remove that. We're going to use simple list. That was a big explanation, but I think it's kind of cool feature that there is there. Yeah, we'll do this. Let's go ahead and come up here and grab this alt and click and drag down holding shift. That's probably good. This is going to be recipes. So we want to show off, just like any kind of like e-commerce website, you want people to be able to search and you know, kind of browse or peruse, if you will, through the categories. But also we want them to be able to just like jump straight into a recipe if something like catches their eye. So I think that's probably fine for now. What we could do is kind of separate these areas out a little bit. I think that that's actually fine for now. I think it should be good. I mean, we can do like we saw in the last video. You can grab a simple component and bring this over, and you can like, you know, round this off a little bit, maybe stick this up here, and you could like arrange send to back. So it's like that, kind of like make this be in its own container up there with like some of its own styling and that kind of stuff. We're not going to get into that. We're just going to get into the functionality of it because it's pretty as is, right? What we could do, now that I'm thinking of it, just for the user flow, always got to be thinking about the user flow, making it intuitive for the end users. Let's go right. So it kind of indicates that it goes somewhere. We just say like all categories. Something like that. And that way, if they don't want to scroll through, they can just like click and see all categories. So this would go to an all category page. And by adding this button, we just added a whole new screen we got to make. But that's okay. That's okay. It's not that hard to do. Recipes. I mean, we could do it with recipes too, right? And then now we need to create a full new recipes thing. That's fine. We can do that. I just created more work for myself, you guys. That's okay. It's okay. Now you can round off these buttons. You can square them off, whatever you want to do. It's a styling choice. We can do this and that. Should be good. Yeah, that's fine. So now we got to display stuff here. So what do we got? We got an image with a name and categories. So let's go ahead and build that out real quick. Come over to the database, click database. We need to add, we already did it. We got the name and the image right there. I need to add some records to this. So let's go ahead and add a category. In the last video, I kind of showed off kind of the flow for this, the directory. So let's come into categories, and we've got chicken. So I guess let's just do that. Let's go chicken. And then we can choose an image. And I think I can just click and drag. Yeah, sure can. So there is our chicken category image. Nailed it. So we can just repeat this with however many categories we have. So hamburger. We could do hamburgers. It doesn't really matter. Let's go hamburger. Boom, and I'll add the rest of them. So I think I do want to pluralize these instead of singular. So chicken, I think we can just have We can just keep chicken. But burger, we're going to have burgers. We're going to have different kind of burgers. Pastas, soups and steaks. You can have salads. I mean, just whatever you guys want to do. You guys know. You guys can kind of see what I'm doing here. So now we've done that. We've got 5 records in our categories. Very, very nice. Now, it won't show on the back end here, but let's go check this out real quick. Actually, let's come here real quick. I want to make sure that, you have this option right here. If there's no image, don't show anything or show a placeholder. This is where you can set your placeholder. But what I want to do is image options. I want to make sure, yeah, they are square. You can portrait, landscape. I cropped mine. I prepped them to be square, 250 size width. You can change that around, maybe 200. That's just going to change the size of this card. But let's just check it real quick. If we preview, we should be logged in as Goodish. Yeah. But there you go, guys. Check this out. Categories. Steaks. Soups. Look at that. Amazing. Amazing. All right, cool. So let's move on. This is going to be categories. This does click into a categories page. It shows a list of all the categories. We can go ahead and make that now that we have this kind of set up. Also, a good habit to get into is name your stuff, name your components here, you guys. I'm sure you guys know that. I do professionally. Whenever I'm building stuff, I always name everything. That way, when you have to come back to it, it's like, oh, that's what that is. Also, if you ever need to reference it, so we'll just call this all categories button. So, just for the sake of time, I'm not going to do that here, but it's always a good idea. So like this could be, instead of horizontal card list, you can put like homepage category swipe list or something like that. But anyway, so let's click on the all categories button. Let's give it a action. We're going to link to a new screen. And also, I didn't show this off yet, but you can name it. And then you can also come down here and there's some templates you guys can choose from as well. It's not too shabby. A list of stuff, which, technically we could use this. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and just do a card list. Let's call it all categories. Create screen. Boom, right here. So now we've got all categories up here. But it might be a good idea to go ahead and put a back arrow. So left icon, let's go ahead and activate the left icon. That gives us the back arrow. And then this one we can just link back. So in this case, they're going to be reaching this screen from this button. So the back button will just take them back to the home screen. We could always take them back to, explicitly the home screen right there. But I think back's okay for this case. Yeah, that should work. This title, we can go and remove that. And then let's bring this up here. A few things we want to do here. We don't have any body text in our categories. It's literally just an image and a title or a name. So we're going to use that for title. So under title, now we need to do a card list first. What is this a list of? It's categories. Now we have access to the data. So now we can come down here to title. Category name, it already maps it. Subtitle, we're not going to have that. So it's going to turn that off. The body, we're going to turn that off. The image, we're going to go ahead and make it square because that's what we've already cropped them to. And then if there's no image, we can do that. Subtitle. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, nailed it. Card styles, you can put a background color on the cards if you want to. Be something weird like that, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to do shadow. Let's do a shadow and get just a little bit of background on there. Just give a little bit of personality. So you go. We've got category name, the image, and it's same thing here, except it's not a horizontal list. Now it's a grid that will build itself as you add more categories. It'll just keep getting bigger and bigger. We don't need this down here. This could be good if you want to add your own category. We could get into that later. You guys will let me know if you want to do that. Essentially, this would just be a button that updates the category table with a form. We could do it in a modal or its own screen. And then, you enter in your category name. You associate it with a recipe, which we will get into the database relationships here shortly. So, but for now, we're just going to do that. All categories. This is actually, yeah, this is all categories. This isn't a specific category. So this is only for this button. We haven't addressed what happens when they click an actual category just yet, which we need to address for this component as well as this component. So we're gonna have to create another screen here in a moment. But for now, let's tie in the recipes down here. Now the recipes, we actually are gonna use all this info. We're gonna use an image for the recipe name or title, and then the subtitle is gonna be what category it's associated with. So cool. So yeah, let's do that right now. So under the database, now we want to come in here to add a new collection. Let's call this recipes. And we're going to pluralize this because there's multiple recipes. But if you're doing a name, you could say recipe name, so singular. But we know we want a name. We want an image. Let's call this recipe image. And then we want a relationship to a category. And then we want like so much more stuff as well. Let's build out the relationship first so we can look at that. So relationship, what is the recipe related to? Categories. This is really cool. You have a one-to-many, many-to-one, or many-to-many relationships. If you guys are familiar with database structures and relationships. So a category can have multiple recipes. That is true. A recipe belongs to one category. This is up to you guys. Depends on how you want to structure your category data. If you want like breakfast, where it's kind of like this big umbrella category that could have many recipes in it, and many recipes could belong to that category. But also, like say you have a brunch where you can order a burger, but a burger could also be associated with a lunch or a dinner, or you see what I'm saying? So you can have different things. I think I'm going to do a recipe can have multiple categories. A category can have multiple recipes. I think we're going to do this just in case it makes it so it is scalable. So we'll click this one and I'll show you here real quick. We're just going to keep this categories right here. And it's now a new record in our database. So right, and I'll show you how this comes into play in just a moment. But since we created this relationship under recipes, now if we come up here to categories, now we have this recipes relationship here. So you see it talking to itself or talking to each other, which is really cool. So under recipes, what else do we want? We want a lot of stuff here, honestly. I think maybe we want to do, let's create a Boolean real quick. Is there not true, false? Okay. That's what a Boolean is. So Boolean is just true, false, 0 or 1. It's just two states. I think this one, let's call this one is favorite. So this will be a feature that we can use on a recipe as a user is in a recipe. If they like it, they can hit a little heart on the recipe detail screen or even on the recipe itself. Yeah, we'll go over that here in a little bit. What else do we want? We want, in order to do that, we need users, right? Yeah, because is favorite, we will need the data from the users. So let's go another relationship. Let's bring in users into the mix. A user can have multiple recipes. A recipe belongs to one user. User can only have one recipe. A recipe can have multiple users. A recipe can have multiple users. A user can have one. I think we're just going to do this. We're just going to do all many to many for a lot of this. You guys can play around with it. It's going to be different based on what app you're building and like what your client wants or what you want. So we've got that. Let's go ahead and we're going to need instructions too. We could, let me think about this. Okay, so we could add an instruction right here. Let's see if I can explain this. If I were to add, we'll just show you. If I were to add an instruction, I'd have to add two different rows, and it would be hard to tie in just those two rows-ish. So let's say under instructions, we have steps, right? So like step 1, step 2, whatever. We could have a step here, and we could name that instruction step just to make it a little bit more simple. But then you'd have like the actual instruction. But now it's 2 extra fields here. I think how I want to do it, just to keep it kind of simple, because then we can tie in to, yeah. Let's do this. I don't want to do it this way. Let's delete these. I was just kind of showing you guys. There's different ways to do stuff. Let's add a new database collection. And let's actually call this instructions. And there are different ways to do this, you guys. Okay, so it's you know, my way is not the right way. I've just been playing around with this, and this is kind of what I came up with. So there's probably better ways to do it. So let's just say this is instruction. And then I want to go ahead and associate a step with this. Right? And you can kind of like drag these around here. So step, So like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, instruction. This way the list builds itself. Yeah, and then add a property. We want a relationship to recipes in this one. So in this case, a recipe can have multiple instructions, but instruction belongs to one recipe. So we're going to do a one-to-many on this because, you know, making a pizza and making a hamburger are two different things. So the instructions are going to be different. They're going to be very unique to that one recipe. So we're just going to do that. We're just going to do that there. Now, under recipes, we have the instructions. So we have a relationship. A recipe belongs to a category. It also belongs to a user, so we can favorite true, false, 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 serious, dude. And then also instructions, and we're just kind of like compartmentalizing the data here, so it's not just this long, just field in the recipes. So what else do we want in the recipes? I'm thinking maybe it is a recipe app, so probably a good thing to have would be maybe calories. And we can also break these out into another table as well, but I think I'll just put them here for now. So calories, probably fat, carbs, and protein, I think are just going to be kind of the main ones. Now we could make these like number type, and then we could use like the magic text to put like insert static text before, so like calories, and then magic text to bring in a number. I don't know, tomato, I think. We're just going to do text for now. So fat, carbs, and then protein. And again, you guys, I mean, you build this out however you want to. This is just kind of what I've come up with. Protein, there we go. So we got calories, fat, carbs, and protein related to a recipe. We've got a recipe name. We have an image associated with that. We have the ability to tie into the users table, whether or not it is, you know, a favorite. I'm just thinking, like, we could do a lot of stuff here. We could add notes that we could just tie in as a relationship to a user. So a user could add their own notes on a recipe, and they'd be able to see, you know, they would be able to see their notes for that recipe. But I think for now, we could do like a recipe URL. So say you want the ability to let the user, you know, shop a Amazon grocery list for the ingredients, stuff like that. That's pretty basic recipe app functionality, or website even. Everyone always links to like a referral affiliate link. So I think that'll be fine for recipes for now. All right. So before we start tying in recipes, let's come over here, back here to our home page, and click on the recipes component. And now we have a database table we can tie in here. So now we're going to do recipes. This is a list of recipes. It already knows that we're looking for a recipe name under the title. And this is what I was talking about here, where you can just do like, I was saying like you could do like fat, you know, comma, and then you can enter in the fat is all I was talking about. You could have this be a number, but I think we're just going to, I don't know. I think when we fill in the recipes, we'll just put in the information. So recipe name, the subtitle is let's see, we're under the recipe, the current recipe, because that's what we're looking at under the list. So we could say, let's come over here real quick. I think maybe I want to do this. I am going to add an extra one. We can associate recipes with categories, but let's go ahead and do this. I don't know. This may be wrong, but, you know, it's just data structuring. It's however you guys want to do it, right? So here now under subtitle, we can do copy or highlight that. Now we can look at category and remove that. So recipe name. Yeah. Left section is going to be the image. We don't want avatar. We want an image, and then current recipes image right there. All right, so we've built out our recipe list. Nothing is tied in just yet, so let's go ahead and preview this. This is going to be a longer video, you guys. I'm also kind of rambling, which doesn't help. Recipes, doesn't really show any recipes down there. Why not? Oh, we haven't added any. Let's go ahead and add some recipes. 0 records. Nice. So we'll click right here. We'll go ahead and add a recipe. I have created a couple of them already. Or laid them out, I should say. So under here, recipe app, recipes. So let's go ahead and do I don't know, let's start from the top. Let's do a hamburger. So let's go ahead and drag in our recipe image, because everybody wants a recipe image. And we'll just go like, let's just call this a cheeseburger. And that's it, just cheeseburger. The image just went away, so let's go ahead and make sure that comes in here. Now it is better to reference images from like a URL, then actually store them in the database here. Yeah, just for loading bits and that kind of stuff. So there's just a few little oddities with Adalo, and sometimes the image, even though it shows here, it won't be there. So you have to come back and add it again. So just be mindful of that. Is favorite, we're going to leave that alone. We're going to let the user choose that. Instructions, we don't have any instructions just yet. So calories, let's just say like this is like 900, right? And fat is like 37. I don't know. I mean, when you guys are building this out, you guys will know. 48, we'll say, and we'll be like 34. I don't know. Recipe URL, we can just do Google just to show like how it will work. And in a category is going to be under burgers. So this just gives us the ability, this field here, what I was thinking was it can give us ability to kind of like show a different category here if we want it to show different than up here, but ultimately they will be a part of, you know, the whole category list. And that'll help us kind of like not have 3,000 categories up here. We can just kind of like basic associate them with it. So anyway, I don't know if that makes sense or not, but let's look right here real quick. So now we've got our steaks right here. We have our cheeseburger. It's under burgers, and there's the image right there. Beautiful, beautiful, you guys. It's just working. That's amazing. So let's add a couple more. Also, categories, it's not associated with a category, so we need to go ahead and choose that. So I just clicked into the row of the cheeseburger we just made. We're going to associate it with hamburgers, right? So if you notice, this is associated with hamburgers, but on the recipe, we just said burgers. So that's why I did that. Or that was my thought process while doing that. So burgers, and this does say hamburgers. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. It's fine. I like it. I think it works. So let's add just a little bit more. I'm going to add some sliders. We'll call this just, I don't know, maybe beef. And this is the cool part about it. When you're structuring your data, you can get as fine as you want to. Like you can detail it down like crazy. If you want to get into beef and have all this stuff under beef, and under beef you have like steaks, ground beef, burgers underneath that. You see what I'm saying? Like you can structure it as deep as you want to go with it. So notice that the recipe is not showing up here just yet because it's not associated. It is a relationship to a category, but it has not been made yet. So the category tie is not there. So what we're going to do is come here. Let's say 1200 here. Fat is like 80 because there's 3 of them. I don't know. I don't know. 60. We're just making these up, you guys. 45. And then, I mean, you don't need a recipe URL. That's up to you guys. I will just go to YouTube/The Goodish Gamer. Nailed it. And then the category is not here, so we'll go ahead and click into it again. Now the category is available. It will also be under hamburgers. And then the user, we're not going to mess with that because we're going to let the user associate that. So anyway, we have 2 recipes under 1 category. So let's go ahead and add, what else do we have here? We got chicken now. We got 3 different chicken recipes. So I'm going to go ahead and add these. All right, and we're back. So I went ahead and added the recipes. We have 8 records in our recipes. We've got a few different categories. We have pasta. I don't know. We can look on the front end. I think burgers, steak, chicken, and pasta maybe. I mean, you can add veggies and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we got these right here. Soups. I actually don't have any recipes for soup just yet. So let's delete that for now. I don't feel like. Well, no, we'll keep that. I'll go ahead and make a soup real quick. So now every category has a recipe. There we go. Very, very cool. So now if we preview this, we should show a pretty good list. Yeah, we do. A good list of recipes. Now you can limit this and you can sort this by coming over here, sorting and maximum number of items. So if you want to max this to like, I don't know, 6. So it'll only show, 2 rows of 3, so 6 rows here. Sorting, if you want to sort by name, I mean, you can sort by its favorite, calories, high to low. Also, a cool thing you can do is there's a list search on here. So we can toggle this on, and it gives us a little search right there. Really, really nice. You can just put like search recipes, just like that. Very, very, very cool. Let's go ahead and bring this down just a little bit. Yeah, so there we go. We've got our homepage kind of structured up a little bit. I think what I want to do is go ahead and put a bottom bar on this thing. I don't know if that's an app bar. Is it? I don't really know. Navigation, I think, is what we're looking for. Yeah, bottom navigation. So we can stick that in here. So we can quickly navigate through our app. So let's go ahead and set that up real quick. So we've got tabs over here, which are what shows up down here. So I'm thinking maybe we'll just use 3 of them for now. So let's go ahead and turn this one off. Turn this one off. So the first tab, we're going to have it be home. It's going to say home, and it's going to actually link to the home page, which we're currently on. So there you go. I think that's how it works. Yeah. Filter, first tab. First tab is active. Okay, cool, cool. Second tab, we want to go ahead and I don't know. Let's do, I think it's dining. Yeah, we could do like this. We could say recipes. You could do categories down here as well. But then I want the third tab to be, let's see, is there a user or a person or something? Person. Yeah, we could do this. Let's do this one. Instead of team, we'll call it profile. And this will actually link to a profile page we're going to make later. So second tab is going to be, we're going to add an action to go to recipes. So let's go and do that real quick. On this button, under the action, we're going to go ahead and link to a new screen. And we can come down here to lists. We could do recipes the same that we did categories. That might not be a bad idea. Let's go and do that, actually. We can do this. And I think that'll work. Yeah, because then we can, let's come up here. Let's do this. Let's go. This is categories. And this one will be recipes. That way we know like where we're going. Recipes, right? Okay, so now here we're going to do, we'll say all recipes. Oh, that was the app bar. Oh, just kidding. Title. We want all recipes. There we go. Nailed it. And then we do want a left icon here to go back. I think maybe the back is fine for default. Possibly. We can always stick a right icon up there too. I don't know. But the categories right here, we can go ahead and let's go ahead and add a search to this. Hey, we're just kind of building this out, you guys. Like it already searches, because it's part of the list, it already searches that collection. So that's really cool. And then here, once you get like more categories and that kind of stuff, it's good to give the user like that feature and that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and grab this guy and delete that. Let's bring this guy back down. And I kind of wish there was like a better way to sort this. So yeah, like right there. So you know it's perfectly in line with the other one. That way when you're navigating tabs, one search isn't down like 3 pixels. That'd be weird. But anyway, all right, cool. So we've got our all recipes. We have our all categories. This is tied up. Categories, all categories. This is recipes. Recipes, all recipes. Very, very nice. Now let's build this out a little bit. The title is going to be the recipe name. The subtitle is going to be the category it's associated with, or at least the category recipes. Yeah, let's just do category, because it'll bring over whatever category we enter here, which is kind of cool. So, right, and then the body text, we can kind of do something. Yeah, we could do like calories, right? And then we can magic text this and then like calories. That way they can kind of see the calories right there on the card. Yeah, I don't hate that. I like it. Card styles. Let's go background. We can go shadow. We can go rounding. What rounding is this? This one is card styles 5. So then over card styles 5. Very nice, very nice. This one contains, the recipes contain a little bit more information than the categories. I hope you guys are still with me. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Like it can get tedious. So this will essentially just be a list of recipes, as we've already established. Just come here to image. Let's make sure this one is square. Image shape square, because we've already cropped all of them. So this should be kind of good-ish. Let's go ahead and check this. We have our user with the user's profile or avatar that they've chosen. The categories, they can go to all categories, which we know works. So now this will take you into all categories. We could do a little icon down here to indicate that, you know, clicking on this will go into a category. I think people know that. But now if we search this, we could search like steaks, and it just live Ajax, like it just does it. Soups. Yeah, really cool. So now if we go back to the previous screen. In this case, it was the home screen. Vegetable soup, steaks with grilled veggies, very nice. All recipes should do the same exact thing. It'll bring these in. It'll take just a moment because they are uploaded images, not referenced images. These are all kind of staggered here. What we could do, I don't hate it, but what we could do, I think there is layout. Yeah. Instead of masonry, we can make it grid. That way they're all going to be the same. I'm pretty sure. So now if we come here to all recipes, yeah. So now every card takes on the same height. You know, change it as you guys want to. So we got pasta. So we have the category, we have the name, the calories. You can show different stuff here. You can even, if you want to, it may be getting to be like too much text. But under body, you could, I mean, technically you could just do like this, and you could do fat, kind of build this out. And you can do like G right there, right? And then carbs, probably too much, and then protein. I mean, you guys see what I'm doing here. So now if we look at this, all recipes, this kind of gives you the quick, you know, at a glance. We can even bold these. So just customization stuff. And you can control B to bold it. Or you can highlight it and come here and go text weight or font weight. Yeah. So then it's bolded. You can even bold the actual value. It's not showing there. Perfect. Anyway, you guys see what you can do here. It's really, really cool. So that's going to do it for this video. In the next video, this one's really long. In the next video, we're going to start tying in the individual. We need to create a recipe detail. So when someone clicks on a recipe, it takes them to a new screen with all of this information, the instructions with the steps. We need to make those. We also need to build out the ingredients and that kind of stuff for every recipe as well. So we're going to need to do that. Also, when this is clicked, this one should be straightforward. This category. Oh, no. That's right. We're going to do an action to click on a category. It's going to open up a new page we haven't created yet with all recipes filtered down to that clicked category, the current category's recipes. So we'll work on that as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you guys are getting stuff out of this. This is just, it was kind of a whim. I just started throwing this little series out there, hoping that it's going to help someone, at the very least, trigger the creativity. You know, because we're not going to publish this. It's not a publishable app, but it should show some of the things that Adalo can do, which I think is really neat. It's a different use case than what I've seen out there. So really nice. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll see you guys in the next one. So until next time, this is the Goodish Techie signing out. Goodbye.